The Kitos War, rebellion of the diaspora, Trajan about to finish the conquest of the Parthian Empire.
When you read about how medieval peasants had so many holidays, when you realize what it's like to live as a medieval peasant, medieval hierarchy be like, peasants. I am respected by both the nobility and the church for my honest labor of working the land and keeping people fed. Merchants. I have lots of money from moving goods around to sale and offering loans. Why doesn't anyone like me? Istanbul and St. Petersburg, when they're in a name-changing competition and they see their opponent is Hanoi. Richard I after escaping capture during the Third Crusade and retaking the English throne. I am once again king. Hannibal, what's your top 3 commanders? Myself. Alexander, Pyrrhus. Cersei Lannister, who are you? Margaret of Anjou. I'm you, but better. Odysseus, when he is just trying to get home to his wife, but he keeps getting sent on random-ass detours. King Julian, how long is this going to take?
Stephen of Blois besieges Empress Matilda as part of their bloody war for the crown of England. Matilda. Hey, could I leave and get safe conduct over to Gloucester so that I can join forces with my biggest ally? Stephen. Yeah, sure. Have a nice trip. Matilda, along with literally everyone else with more than a half brain cell. It's funny how dumb you are. Austria, Georgia, giving the world some of its most brutal dictators, but nobody remembers you for it. Built massive aqueducts to supply the city with water, made them slope to let gravity do its work, lined them with poisonous lead and weakened the population, lined them with poisonous lead and weakened the population. French people making fun of the Brits on July 4th only to remember Algerian Independence Day is July 5th. People who call Rommel one of the greatest tank commanders. Rommel who used infantry tactics, the carriage in front of the one carrying the first emperor of China. A 160 pounds metal cone tossed by a buff dude. First World War literature be like, war is hell. War is hell. I need someone to save us from the Aztecs. Maybe send an angel. The best angel you have. Laughs in Spanish. America finishing its civil war. France trying to establish a monarchy in Mexico. A brief history of Hawaii. America before the Revolutionary War. America after the Revolutionary War, if France had decided not to help. Nazi Germany. Italy after 1943. Allies, Janio Quadros. I send the Vice President to China, Janio Quadros. I write a letter of resignation as a bluff so I can pass more laws, Janio Quadros. They would never accept a leftist president, Janio Quadros. The Congress accepts my letter. Holy Roman Empire after killing its best general Wallenstein in the 30 Years' War. Yeah, this is big brain time. Mr. President banned the Chinese for 20 years. No. Mr. President banned the Chinese for 10 years. Fine. A genuinely wholesome story, which teaches good values to those who read it. A story fucked up beyond any form of human comprehension. An endless crucible of humankind's worst possible natures. A testament of how fucked up any human can be. Me reading about mythology. Making English the only language of instruction in both public and private schools. German, Polish, Scandinavian communities. Republicans in Wisconsin in 1889. Why would they vote for the Democrats? How to integrate conquered nations. Rome. First we harmonize religions, then build roads and change the language. Assyrian Empire. First we skin the adult men, then we put images of it everywhere so they don't forget. U.S. slavery in decline as major cash crops cheapen and abolition rises. Invent cotton gin to automate a labor-intensive task and reduce need for slaves. Cotton farming skyrockets, reinvigorating slavery. Slavery continues strong for 70 years and is only ended after a major war. Cotton dependency almost got UK to side with the South. Macedonia existing again after 2,500 years. I'm back. How England is portrayed in media when fighting France. How England is portrayed in media when fighting Scotland. Visualizing in the mirror the man I want to become. Most of history of Christianity in China versus Japan. China. You got any more of that Christianity? Japan. Shame. Walter Mondale watching the 1984 election results getting announced. Bismarck convincing the rest of the German states to a war against France. Apes together strong. Poor people in the Gilded Age. Robber barons. Am I really going to defile this grave for money? Poor people in the Gilded Age. Of course I am. Cold War from 1947 to 1991. Missiles, race to space, assassins and spies. Cold War now. Albania rap. POV, You're Franklin Pierce in 1856. The administration of Franklin Pierce has been true to the great interests of the country. Now please fuck off. Democratic National Convention. Confederates. Criticize their second flag as being too white. Ironic. POV. You're Grover Cleveland reading about the Democratic National Convention in 1896. You are accused of treason and anti-democratic behavior. Jacksonians be like, we are the democracy. Mid-19th century, American political party names be like, Locofocos, Whigs, Know Nothings, Ino Tadataka after no one wants to make a map of Japan. Fine, I'll do it myself. Our Mongol armies take over Persia and Iraq. We ban the slaughter of halal meat and kill over 3 million Muslims. We eventually convert to Islam. Americans in 1792. Time for your second term. Georgie. George Washington. Yes, honey. Parameswara's hunting dogs. Some random mouse deer. Parameswara sitting in the shade of a Malacca tree. Attila the Hun, rampaging from the east of Europe all the way to the eternal city that is Rome. Rome sent out what appears to be an old man with a scroll that basically says, "No, Attila the Hun." Today, we have sturdy plates that we put our food on. Pre-16th century medieval dude looking at his trenchers, basically a plate put on their food, which is entirely made up of bread. After all, why not? Why shouldn't I eat my trencher? Me, simply enjoying my graham crackers. My friend and his very outspoken brain. Did you know? This food is meant to suppress your lust. Me. Before individual plates exist, there's only a communal place where people put food on. It's called trenchers. It's either made up of one of the following: metal, wood, good old bread. Alexander the Great is the kind of guy to go for all the achievements when playing a video game. Greece, Turkey, a monkey and a dog. The 2nd Pacific Squadron minding its business. Kamchatka, for some reason. Torpedo boats. If I had a nickel for every time a rare storm event entirely destroyed one of my invasion fleets that could have changed the course of Asian history, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. I can't wait to learn more about post-colonial African history. Random general takes power, becomes a dictator, and kills 100,000 people. Gets assassinated and replaced by another violent general who kills twice the amount of people. Time traveler moves chair. The timeline. Invade Russia. Take Moscow. Just sit there as you wait for peace terms. Germans every couple generations. Europe. Georgia neighboring both of them. Ottomans trying to expand their empire. Persian Empire trying to do the same. France. What about our colonial empire? Rest of the world. You've had one. Yes, but what about a second one? If YouTube existed in 1937. How Japan is preparing for war with China. William Dampier finding coconuts. Napoleon escapes from Elba. Panic. You just sent troops to intercept. Calm. The troops defected. Panic. Having a country named after you. Having an entire historical era named after you. Having a salad named after you. Average Old Norse learner. Average Gothic enthusiast. The Dutch during the 17th century. The natives. As long as the spice keeps running, everyone will be left alone. The French in the 90s for some reasons. John Adams when it came to slavery and relations with Native Americans. John Adams when it came to civil liberties. I have an army. We have a York. Is 2 a lot? Depends on the context. Dollars, no. Assassinated presidents who were replaced by a guy named Johnson? Yes, when she says she's not into middle-aged guys. Augustus bragging about improving the city of Rome. Agrippa. Create a massive empire. Start numbering the years after the start of your reign. Empire collapses after 200 years. Empire collapses after 200 years. Jews continue to use your year count for 2,000 years. Autobus when Romabus mourn the fall of Rome. Autobus when they celebrate the fall of Rome. Martin Luther after nailing some paper to a door. This will totally alter the course of European history. King Kalaniʻapuʻu of Hawaii upon his death. His son Kewalao becoming king of Hawaii. His nephew Kamehameha becoming guardian of the god of war. Parliament when Germany violates the Treaty of Versailles. I sleep. Parliament when Edward VIII attempts to marry an American actress who has divorced. Real shit. You're incredibly close to killing 50 women. The police catch you after 49. But Diocletian, why would you give up absolute power to grow vegetables? I just think they're neat. score 445 runs in Kolkata. India is out for 171 and enforce the follow-on. They score 657 with 7 wickets. You lose by 171 runs. Average archaeologist with a sight. Oh dear, oh dear. Gorgeous. Heinrich Schliemann with Troy. You fucking donkey. The Persian army uses cats as weapons. Soldiers of Egypt. Research World War II because you enjoy the lines on maps. Become an expert in World War II and the Eastern Front. Stop researching it satisfied with your knowledge, and then forget everything you learned. Stop researching it satisfied with your knowledge, and then forget everything you learned. Estonians in 1918, when they need more men to fight the Bolsheviks and see young schoolboys. You'll be a soldier. Who would win? Over 500 Red Army soldiers, some Finnish farmer. My Murican friend. Why are there hardly any Jews in Europe? Me. 1519. Your Highness, I have come here prepared to travel towards the Spice Islands with 5 ships and 270 men of Spain. May God guide you on this voyage. 1522. What happened? We succeeded, but suffered greatly. When you launch a coup but only one dude follows you. French miners. Polish miners. The French unionist who thinks that their strikes against the Germans will be a bloodbath. Polish wives who speak German. Blackbeard would plunder merchant ships, forcing them to allow his crew to board their ship. The pirates would seize all of the valuables, food, liquor, and weapons. Ironically, despite his ferocious reputation, there are no verified accounts of him actually killing anyone. Blackbeard in popular imagination. Blackbeard in reality. Stealing a Confederate train. James J. Andrews. Anthony Murphy chasing the train on foot for 7 hours. Russian Empire, Soviet Union, German Empire, Germany, sending Lenin to Russia in 1916. Germany in 1945. In 1895, Ohio, there exist only 2 cars in the entire state. Okay, and then they crash to each other. Romans enjoying relative stability at the leadership role for decades with peaceful transfers of power. The year of the 4 emperors. The Austrian army accidentally fighting itself during the Battle of Karansebes. Oh, it's you. Stop giving me your toughest battles. They're literally pack animals. Hee-haw. You wrote an extra long report to inform the emperor while praising him. He punishes you because he hates long report. You rewrite the report to be under 500 words and became the standard for future reports. The emperor still punishes you because it shows you clearly can keep things short but didn't. When you asked the Mongols how they conquered the world, I just kept feigning retreat, and it kept working. Richard the Lionheart, I won't put you in irons if you surrender. Isaac Komnenos, thank you, I surrender, puts him in specially commissioned silver shackles.